He's the senator from the great state of Arizona. He's John McCain back on the program. How is morale in Arizona?
Well, I think it's pretty sky high, and I hear that some guys on your staff are not giving the Cardinals the credit that they deserve. So you guys are dummies, and so in the words of Donald Trump, you're dummies.
Well, we're quoting Donald Trump right out of the gate here. McLovin, Senator McCain just called you a dummy.
No, he's confused. I was saying the St. Louis Cardinals are not a sure thing. I love the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, okay. Don't buy that, Senator. McLovin's a dummy.
Hey, listen, they're legit, and one of the guys that I've been watching the last couple of years is this honey badger.
Yeah,
Tyrann Mathieu. Have you seen him? He plays with the abandon that I used to when I was flying airplanes, which may be the reason why I was shot down. But the guy is remarkable,
We had Honey Badger on earlier this week, and I talked to him about his maturity.
Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, and just the maturity level. He said he wasn't ready to handle success he was an overnight success at LSU, and he said he handled it poorly. But Patrick Peterson and others have helped him make that transition to being a professional, and big difference in the kid.
Yeah, it's remarkable, and it does show what peer pressure can do one way or the other. As you know, sometimes the environment when you're the huge frog in the pond is a little different than when you get into the pros side. But Carson Palmer is playing the best he has. Larry Fitzgerald. And by the way, talk about quality characters. I have not met a finer man than Larry Fitzgerald. He is really an example to all of us. I wish he were president or at least a senator. Maybe we'd have a little more integrity in our game.
What if he ran against you in Arizona?
Oh my God, I'd have to withdraw rather than suffer the humiliation.
How many times were you shot down?
Only one.
Oh, okay.
Once, but I managed to wreck 3 other airplanes. So, so if I had a total of 4. So if you shoot down 5 enemy aircraft, you're an ace. I almost took care of 5 American airplanes, and that was called a black ace.
Well, speaking of money in the military, explain the NFL military sponsorship partnership that has drawn your ire.
Oh, they should be embarrassed. They hold these events ostensibly to honor the men and women who are serving, have them out on the field. Oh, you've seen every Sunday the crowd is with them and honoring them, and they're charging the Department of Defense for it. Some $5 million was spent last year. Do they know no shame? I know they're greedy. Nothing wrong, I guess, with that. That's why we had the blackout rule. But, come on. It's just they should be embarrassed to be charging the Department of Defense, i.e. the taxpayers of America, for events that honor the men and women who serve our nation in uniform. It isn't really a complicated issue, and the defense bill this year, unfortunately, we had to prevent it. We had to prohibit it in the defense bill that I'm the chairman of the committee. But these guys should be embarrassed, and they should give the money back. They make billions.
When did you first hear about this?
It was about a year, 8 or 9 months ago, I think it was, when it first came out. And frankly, I didn't believe it at first. Now, look, it's one thing for example, the National Guard to buy advertising, say, please join the National Guard. I understand that. And on the networks, that's legit. But to say, ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the military are here today and they're down on the field, and let's honor them and charge people for it. I bet you that the people in attendance don't know that they're charging for that, the taxpayers for it.
So this was a 4-year period where the Department of Defense was paying the NFL just over $5 million to salute the troops. It's like product placement.
Yeah, but isn't the product is something that we should honor without having to charge for it?
Yes, Look, I was surprised. Probably not as surprised as you were, but I was surprised that they were charging these feel-good moments. So what happens next?
Well, we prohibited it in the bill, but I think the president's going to prohibit the bill. But honestly, I hope we have shamed them. I hope they're embarrassed enough not to try it again. But we'll be keeping an eye on it. And the first team franchise that charges the taxpayers for it, we're going to make them famous.
If I ask you to be the analyst for what's going on politically right now with the candidates, like if I said assess what's going on with the Republican Party as an analyst, who's winning?
I think chaos is winning. I think that it's a manifestation of a lot of the anger that Americans feel and frustration about Washington and the partisanship. And also, some of it is the appeal of not just Trump, but also Carson. He comes across as a very good man. Carly Fiorina comes across they're the top three, and the one thing they have in common is that none of them have ever held elective office. There's a lesson there for those of us who have.
Do you feel like an outsider?
Not so much an outsider. I think that I have to convince the folks in Arizona that I'm working for them and I'm doing things for them. And when they see this almost constant gridlock and threat of closing down the government, look, Americans don't like the government, but they sure as hell don't want to see it shut down. The last time we did it, we shut down the Grand Canyon, depriving how many thousands and thousands of people of the ability to enjoy the great natural beauty, and we have a number of places in Arizona that I argue it's the most beautiful state in America, and by the way, the people that work up around the Grand Canyon, they were deprived of their income to the point where we had to fly food up from the St. Mary's Food Bank in Phoenix up to feed them and their families. You don't want to have a situation like that happen.
Have you crossed paths with Trump since? He
No.
had some pretty mean things to say about you.
No, I haven't, because there's been no reason to. And
I think we just lost the senator. The power of Donald Trump. I can't blame this on Fritzy.
He was on a plane, and they were about to board.
Oh, he was? Okay. Well, I knew that he had a short window there.
Or Donald Trump controls our phone line.
Yeah. McLovin would Senator McLovin would like to come back at you, when you called him a dummy. He was nervous because you've been in a presidential debate or two, and he was afraid to say something. McLovin, here's your chance to fire back at Senator McCain for calling you a dummy.
Okay, who has Arizona beaten? I mean, the Bears, the Saints. Are these wins really blowing you away?
Grudgingly, I think you made a point, but you're still a dummy.
I voted for the other guy. No,
Wow.
That's not even true.
See, that just proves it. Listen, I know they've got a ways to. I know they got a ways to prove themselves, but you can understand the excitement we have all over our state. Our baseball team obviously didn't show too well, and our hockey team is not been that good. The Suns haven't been that good, and Arizona State and the University of Arizona got beat by a total of 54 points last Saturday, something like that. So,
all right, in your prime, do you want a piece of Donald Trump?
I think the best thing for me to do seriously about Mr. Trump is not paying attention. I've got a lot of work to do in the Senate and the Armed Services Committee and all this stuff. I don't think it's beneficial to me. By the way, I'm not running for president again. I've already lost. People say, "Why don't you run again?" I say, the Southern philosopher once said, "There's no education in the second kick of a mule." So, I'm not running against him, and I'm trying to do the best I can for for the country and the people of Arizona. And I don't want to be serious, but there is more crises in the world today than there's been since the end of World War II. And we are seeing terrible things happening, and I don't have to chronicle them for you. You know what they are. So I'm trying to do my work and not get involved anymore with Mr. Trump.
It's great to talk to you. Safe travels as always. Keep stirring it up, and good luck to your Cardinals.
And I congratulate you for rising above and being able to overcome the dummies that work with you.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. All right. That's Senator McCain.